Hello everyone, my name is Danny. This review is for the movie called Downton Abbey. It is a 2019 film. I saw it yesterday. It's rated PG. It runs 2 hours and it's directed by Michael Engler. It stars Hugh Bonneville, Jim Carter, and Michelle Dockery. The description: the worldwide phenomenon Downton Abbey becomes a grand motion picture event as the beloved Crawleys and their intrepid staff prepare for the most important moment of their lives. A royal visit from the King and Queen of England will unleash scandal, romance, and intrigue that will leave the future of Downtown hanging in the balance. Written by series creator Julian Fellows and starring the original cast. This is Downton Abbey. Well, I'll start with my disclaimer that I have never watched the TV show. Ever. I don't know anything about it. When I walked into this movie, I was thinking it looked like a nice movie, and I thought that it looked, enjoyable. It was rated PG, and it took place in a nice scene, and it looked kind of funny, and so I wanted to give it a try, but I know nothing about the movie. I know nothing about the relationships. I know nothing about the history of the show or what's coming or what's going on. I didn't know if it's the original cast, but I guess it is. Due to the description, that's the first time I learned that who's in this movie is in the TV show. So I really have no knowledge of anything. I'm just going to speak as a person that is seeing this for the first time. I enjoyed the movie, and that's all I can suggest to you. I can't suggest the TV show or anything like that. So I think it's a good way to go into the movie. Is a little fresh, a little not knowing anything about it. I'd be interested to know, for people who have followed the show religiously, is the movie just exactly what you've been watching for seasons upon seasons? Was it disappointing? Did they not give their best performance? Depending on how great the TV show has been and how many awards it's won, we all know that. But is the movie less than the TV show? I don't know any of that. I can't tell you any of that. So, I'll start off with the fact that due to the previews we saw, not much of this movie was given away in the previews. So that was another nice thing, something that I was ready to go see this movie because I didn't know much about it. The previews didn't give much away. Excuse me. And so, going to the movie fresh. Let's start there. Is that when you go into this movie and you start hearing the staff be a little bit loud-mouthed, and some of the servants, have their own opinion and talk back to their masters and stuff like that. It's really surprising. It doesn't seem to fit, and it's kind of shocking, to the normal movie viewer who doesn't know anything about this show or this movie, that, you would say what's typical of this time period is for servants not to backtalk to their people that are employing them, for kitchen staff not to be so opinionated and telling their team lead, that they don't need to worry about something, that they'll take care of it. Just certain things that don't really fit. And I'm sure it's just the way that Downton Abbey does things. And so that's what makes it kind of more enjoyable, is because it's so original and it's so true to what it wants to do and how it wants to handle things. And the big surprise of this movie, which I'm not going to give away, is the staff culminating together that they want to stand up for themselves. And that's just kind of unheard of. So, I think across the board for me, just not knowing who really any of these people are except the 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 oldest, smartest, funniest lady in this movie, which you will all know when you watch it, who that is. She is, an absolute delight, and she always will be. And I don't know how the Downtown Abbey universe works, but I'm wondering if this might be her last hurrah. I don't know how that works or how you are thinking her role in the universe is. But she was wonderful in this movie. I think, she's obviously a seasoned pro as far as movies go and TV too, obviously. But I think she was just like the best part of this. And like everybody was funny in this movie. It's a very good PG, funny family movie because it's just funny. But I do have to say that I did not laugh as much stuff as other people in my theater. I think some people were like seriously like just, ecstatic with laughter the whole time, and like I didn't get my funny bone tickled that much, but there were some obvious things that were hilarious. There were some things that you just kind of either get or you don't. But there were just some things that were just kind of, thrown out there to be sarcastic or said against someone, and not all of it triggered something, but it is nice and light and funny. Um, there's a couple things that happen. Well, I'll say a lot of things. There's a lot of things that happen in this movie that are in there to throw your attention. And if you aren't keeping track of every single thing along the way, then when it comes back, you're like, oh, I don't even remember this thing. And I don't know if it's part of the TV show. I'll say that again. But I can't imagine every single episode is like this movie where it's just like 10 things going on at the same time. I don't think it's a soap opera kind of situation, but it kind of felt like a soap opera situation where it's like, okay, we're gonna give 3 minutes to this storyline, then jump over to these people, and we'll come back to them later. And it kind of felt like that, and it kind of got confusing after a while. The probably the most, I don't know, critical thing, not really critical, but the most criticizable thing that I can say about this movie is that a lot of the guys look exactly the same. They all have on their suits, they all have on, the same hairstyle, they all kind of talk the same, and honestly, the people around me, we kind of thought that one guy was this other guy for a little while, and then we realized that we were wrong, that it was this other guy, and they just looked the same. So we were kind of hard to follow the storyline a little bit. We kind of got lost in their situations that they had going on because we thought people would look the same, so we didn't know who was who and who was dealing with what. And some of the things get handled in okay fashion. Some things just get settled because they have to be settled. It's not always fluid. The way that they're presenting things and then they take care of things. It just kind of felt like a couple of the situations that they throw at you, they just resolve by the end of the movie because they felt they had to be resolved. So it wasn't fluid, it wasn't very thought out to me. I don't know, that's just my opinion and how I felt. So if I'm feeling the wrong thing and I watch the whole movie and I'm wrong, then I'm sorry, but that's just how it came across. So I think all in all, it's an enjoyable movie. It was a surprise, of a good time. It can be suggested to watch. I might buy into this TV show if I can find a way to watch it on Netflix or whatever it is. And I can watch a couple episodes, see if it's, like this movie. But if it's like the movie where it's storyline and then they cut to another storyline, and then they come back to situation A. I'm not going to really enjoy that, but the movie was fine. I just felt like it was almost too busy because it knew it only had one situation, that the royals are visiting. And when that situation kind of came and went and gone, and it was kind of awkward in between, I think they felt like they had to have more. They couldn't just have the one situation. That would have really been a really detriment to this movie. And as funny as people are and as busy as the movie was, I don't think it passed to be an amazing movie, but it is still enjoyable. So I'm going to give Downton Abbey a B, and I did have a good time. I do suggest watching it. If you need something for the family, it's funny for everybody. There's lots of hilarious things in it. The talking and the accents might be a little heavy, and I can't say it's a bad thing, but sometimes it's kind of hard to understand them and everything. And the other part for me, just another thing to say here, is that I didn't find myself feeling sorry for any of these people. They are very wealthy. They are, high up in society. They talk about how times are changing in their culture and their age, that they're in. And then they start talking about being, too busy to go have tea with all these different people, and they have to serve these luncheons. And some people, in this world do follow this show religiously. That's why it's won awards. That's why it's won, popularity and been able to make a movie. But I can't find myself connecting to the real higher up characters in this movie, probably in this show ever, because I just cannot feel sorry for them having too much to do in their privileged life, So that's just one thing for me. I don't know if other people are going to feel like that, but it's just something that I kind of feel when I watch movies like this. And, I know these people are filthy rich. I know these characters have lots to do, but it's like, rich people stuff to do. So I can't really feel sorry for them having too many people to have tea with. When that line came up in the movie, I was just like, oh, whatever, So, all that said, if you can connect to this movie whatsoever, I do give it a B. I do suggest watching it. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and get some of them to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.